on whether this works. And he interviewed kids in his class with autism and without, and measured how many times they looked away during a conversation, with glass on and without. And the data were amazing. Want to, hire him to run our clinical studies. But when I look at you, what do I get? I get, as we were saying before, information about emotion. Do your lips look blue? What's wrong with your projector? Anyway, blue lips. And emotions are transient, so we do it in real time. They're seeing an emoticon that goes happy, sad, whatever, as life is playing out. And then they can play a game. Turn this off. So that's emotion. Hold on. Okay. So that's emotion decode, and then emotion game. They can see. Yeah. Okay. See alternative emotions. There's also up here on this and on my pamphlets, which actually reminds me to hand out. Would you pass? And within a certain delay period. But language isn't only words. If I just said the words but with a flat affect, or too loudly, or with a lot of cuss words or something like that, wouldn't make for a good conversation, depending where you are. So we use the tools, again, creatively. We have microphones, we have camera, we have other ways of determining how far someone is, how many people are in the room, what kind of situation it is, am I looking up at mom or over at a friend, and determine, is he speaking too loudly? Has he taken turns enough? Or you get the prompt, you're wearing this, oh, take turns, you're talking too much, like I am now. Saying or swear words, or in the case where there's something distracting and maybe a train rumbles by and the child's about to have a meltdown, and we recognize that by eye blinks and other mechanisms, then we give a display like a screensaver that's just fun to watch. And music. And the music can get softer and go away if they're performing the non-desired behavior, and then come back if they're calmer. And so they can elect to obey that or not. It's for the person. It's not to impose on anyone, but it's a helpful reminder. And I imagine everyone here in the room would like to know if you had a device that's going to tell you 5 minutes before you're about to snap at someone at work or something like that. Oh, and then the emotions thing. Oh, gosh, these children need help and emotions. Okay, so who's in a relationship, and how do you know exactly what your spouse is thinking? Right? It'd be good to have Cyrano de Bergerac whispering in your ear. Or in the modern version, Hitch. Kids with autism tend to wander, and they tend to like bodies of water and other dangerous things. Maybe they're structured, rhythmic, and reassuring, I don't know. But it's a real danger. And parents of people with autism live in tremendous fear. Some parents have told me they dress their kids with literally bells on, like a jingle hat and sneakers that make noise and things like that, so they'll know if the kid's wandering, and like a big take me home sign, which is basically a kick me sign for that poor kid. You think that's good for his social life? So we want LoJack for the kid, right? And more. So with the wandering suite, mom can find out, get an alert that her child has eloped, and her phone will buzz and ring and say, what kind of mom are you? Notice your kids. Anyway, your kid's far away. And we'll use Google Maps overlay to find out exactly what he's near. Is he near a power station or a highway or GameStop or whatever? And then the child can get the reassuring voice of mom pre-baked into the device. It says, come on home, I've got your cookies, pizza, whatever, come on home. And guide him home with a GPS that's kid compatible, like a cartoon character dancing off screen he has to follow. Now I know one limitation might come to mind as well. If the kid takes it off or the battery goes, then this doesn't work that well. This is version 1, but this is replacing a big fat 0 because there's no capability like this right now. Da-da. Oh, and probably the best part is she can press a button to talk to him, and she can press a button to remotely activate the camera and see what he sees. Yeah, yeah, very important. Parents, when they hear that, oh, that would change everything. And then, what does that parent really want to know? You want to know when your child is about to become a very unruly child. Every parent wants to know that, and more so on the spectrum. And the point here is, again, with the big data back end, that's when we can ask the question, what preceded the meltdown by 5 minutes? What was in the environment? What was going on? And next time predict for that child, and with learnings from the crowd for people in that subtype. And that's why when I mentioned people we want, we need Android coders, but we also need predictive analytics, big data types of data scientists. In short order, people like this. So 1,000 parents have written to us waiting for the release. And the press have been kind. So we have about 200 press articles already. TechCrunch, Wired, Boston Globe, and then some TV, CBS, NBC. And they've been very kind. And there's a new push that we're about to launch because we're going to do a Kickstarter. And that's where we really, really need everyone's help. And they say with Kickstarter, the more people you can tell who are not in your direct network, the better, who can spread the word. And our lifeblood is going to come from this Kickstarter. We've invested a lot, we know where we're going, and we need the rocket fuel to code all of these to bulletproof, so that when it goes home and mom doesn't inherently necessarily know how to use it, we have that level and that grade of software that it will just work. Lots of traction. And what's great is that we have clinical and scientific credibility too. So I'm a scientist, and I didn't have to leave entirely in order to do something that can affect people's daily lives. We have clinical trials starting at Harvard in the fall. We have an external PI who's done autism research for 30 years. And the director of the Neurotechnology Clinical Trials Unit at MGH is our site director. And then we have, I was just out at Google again, I go there about every month or two, and met with Stanford for the 3rd time, and we signed the thing. We're doing second set of clinical trials for a slightly different set of questions at Stanford. Now the clinical trials are not for an FDA approval, they're for parent approval. They're for reassuring that this will help. You can do 2 hours like piano lessons, and you don't need to bring your piano or your piano teacher with you all day everywhere. We learn that way. Learning's spread. So the idea is to show, 1, that people even fairly severely affected will wear the device and use it, and 2, that there's some benefit. Some of you will know Temple Grandin. She's the most famous person with autism, and she's a hero, an outright hero in the community. And she stands above all the politics. There is politics in this community. And she's universally loved and amazing. And so she is, again, this is a very green-blue recasting of all these photos, but let it be. And she is a great advocate for autism and aware of our project. And this was in a 4-hour dinner or just after it, that we had with her. And then this was a separate time on the day that our Boston Globe article came out. And she was kind of excited. She immediately read it. She was like, yep, okay, and then asked the question. She's so intense and so direct, it's amazing. When she put glass on for the first time, I had it with that Easter egg that allows you to see the team, and as you look around, you see everyone around you. And so she looks, she immediately, most people don't look up or down. She's up, down, and we were at dinner, so she goes, and she's following the people, and she says, they're moving away from me. Oh, okay, I get it. And she almost bumped into the other table. Just so amazing, and both in it and able to speak about it. And we got some great insights from her that have informed our software. So they say if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So I've attracted some people that are smarter than I am. And these are my teammates. Many of them have MDs or PhDs or have worked in the educational system with people with autism on a daily basis. Background on me, why am I doing this? So I was a straight up academic. Went to fairly academic schools, did neuroscience for all my degrees, but in parallel was working on a friend's startup and a medium-sized company, a large company, and had these two worlds and I was hiding them from each other. I literally had like an SBIR grant on one side running a small company and an NIH grant on the other side, and didn't tell my supervisors or whatever about either life. And that was tiring, and I realized that I could actually do both. And so I took off around the world, traveled with no phone for a year, and had a slow building epiphany, and that led to the company. And that's brain power. So I think we'll wrap it up. I will mention one thing here about the team. These include a lot of MIT students, and we have internships and many great relations with MIT, but I'm seeing that we have to move on. So I will say this, and then I'll end on a video. It's just 2 minutes long, and do that. So one, we are hiring. Big data, Android, as I mentioned, and videography. If there are videographers in the room, or anyone who knows editing with Premiere and Creative Cloud, talk to me immediately, because ours got ill, and we have a little bit of an unfinished Kickstarter video. So we need you tonight and further. Others can start at a more normal time, like tomorrow. And we will be running a Kickstarter when that video is finished. And so look for that. This link will now just keep you posted, and then it will redirect when it's live, which should be in 3 weeks. So thank you.